My topic today is to open yourself to the secrets of the universe. And isn't it amazing that when we discover the secrets, we realize they were never secret at all, but we had to look for them. And it's so obvious sometimes that we don't see it because we want to make life very complicated. We want to make life something that it isn't, and as if that we're playing hide and go seek with ourselves. And oftentimes what we do is try and hide the truth from ourselves. And I don't know sometimes why we try and do that, but we have an opportunity today to open ourselves to a life that is greater than the life that we've experienced before. And they're going to tell you some steps how to do that. And if you would, share yourself with someone. Call someone on the phone, or maybe knock on your neighbor's door and say, you know, tune into this program. I think that there might be something of value here for you today. Because when you share of yourself, you're really willing for someone to know you, and you're willing to bring people into sonship with God. I will be right back. Today is open yourself to the secrets of the universe. Now we're going to talk about perturbation and dissipative structures today. Now, it's going to be a lesson in quantum physics, spirituality, and you. And they all go together. And you know what I love about quantum physics is that it is so spiritual, because really all science is there to do is to, is to explain, in a sense, the physical universe, the laws of the physical universe, and they also give us a sense of the laws of the spiritual universe. And how every one of us, if we're open to perturbation, then what happens, instead of going downhill in life through what is called dissipative structures, the more we're willing to let go of the old, we become actually more alive and more joyous and more happy. So that's what the subject is, so we'll get into it, and it ought to be a lot of fun. All right? Now, what it really means is that when you open yourself up to the secrets of the universe, the first thing is we have to discover in one sense, there is no universe out there. You know, quantum physics is telling us that more and more, and religion has told us that all along, that the only way to discover the universe is to know yourself. You know thyself is an ancient truth. And the only way to know another is to know yourself. And another way to know yourself is to know another. So you can also discover yourself by discovering, the laws of science and the physical universe, the physical universe. You can discover yourself through observing life. You could sit there and you could watch nature just do its thing, and you would discover how you function. Because you don't function separate and apart from life, because you are life. So what we're going to find out is how are we going to discover what's out in the universe is because we will discover what's within us. And as we understand ourselves and we discover ourselves and we experience ourselves, we experience all that there is, because there can't be anything that exists outside of you. Now, see, that's something you can't maybe you can grasp it in your mind, but you have to grasp it at a level of knowingness where you realize there is no life outside of you. Now, a lot of people say, well, that's very self-centered. Well, how can you know yourself through something outside of you? How can you know anything other than what you know by you knowing it or you experiencing it? So it's not about being self-centered, but it's knowing that the only way you can discover God is by knowing yourself and by discovering yourself and experiencing yourself, because that's what God is. See? So that is very complete and whole into itself. So, as we go out into the so-called universe, what we can also do is discover more about ourselves. And if you want to know about the universe, go in and discover yourself. As you discover yourself, you'll find all the answers that are going to be found out in the universe, because one day we'll discover there wasn't any universe. How do we know? We just don't paint it on a canvas and paint it at the end of our telescope. How do you know we don't project it out there? How do you know there is a universe out there? Well, I see it through this camera. Who sees it? You see it. Through what? Through my eyes. And my eyes then register, become a vehicle so my brain can say, this is what you see. Who says you see it? Well, I do. Well, who are you? How do you know you do that? Well, because I do. Well, prove it. How can you? You can't prove it. You see, you can't prove it. You can't really prove anything. How do you know you exist? Well, my friends told me I'm here. Well, who are they? And so if you get caught up in that, you say, well, gee, I don't know where I am or what I'm in. I said, this is a very healthy place to be, to not know. So when we want to open ourselves to the secret of the universe, what we want to do is open ourselves to the system that works for self-discovery and self-awareness, which is a discovery of God and life and yourself. And one thing is, if you live in a closed system, you die. That's really what brainwashing is. You know, most people don't have a clue as to what brainwashing is. They don't know they are brainwashed. They don't know that they live in a closed system, whether it's religion, politics, lifestyle, what your family taught you. I mean, most people don't question where they are. They don't question their lifestyle. They don't question their beliefs. They don't even question where they got them and how do you know it's true. Well, I learned that. So if you are only a product of what you've learned, you are stuck in a closed system. Now, with that law of dissipative structures that was discovered by who, Leonard? Ilya Pergogreen. And the scientists, we found that in dissipative structures, what it was that, you know, it was the second law of thermodynamics. So it said that energy keeps going down. Like we're looking at, gee, the physical universe is getting cooler all the time, and one day we're not going to have any physical universe because it's going to die, just like when people believe in, you know, in death and they believe in sickness and destruction. It always looks like somehow in life you're always going to lose. No matter how great you are, no matter how happy you are, no matter how loving you are, one day it's curtains. And ultimately, it's not going to matter anyway. See? So why even try? Because I'm not going to get out of this alive, so why should I even care? My life has no meaning, so I'm going to, you know, I'm going to see what I can do just to survive, but ultimately it won't matter. Well, if you look at the second law of thermodynamics, it looks like all energy moves downward. Now, most people live in that law. They live in a closed system. They don't challenge their ideas. They don't challenge their beliefs. In fact, if they go into a religion, they accept the dogma and the doctrine. They don't question it. They don't test it by their own experience. They say, well, the Bible says it's so. And you know what? And it's like instead of saying, is it so in my own experience, they say, well, it's written here and it says so, it must be true. But the truth is the only way you know anything is true by your own experience. So what you need to do is practice the principles in the Bible and say, do they work?